dove to my enemy, and in return I receive a large platter of the darkest crow, like coal if you can believe. Rome's last breath held no comparison to the tenuous build of Naive, but he enjoined the vindictive style of Zeus, if you can believe. O hatred, you pull the strings of fate, a which the puppeteer leaves, abominates for the endless pit, if you can believe. Across space, emotions, they ferment, scatter, shatter, and deceive. The mind in a circuitous sprawl, outcome set, if you can believe.
Oh, it's stabbing my heart, my soul left to ride. The shadows of these morn can't let me sleep, for my desire to remember are for them to reap. I close my eyes, ignoring their avian stare. My knowledge of their existence is more than I can bear. Until I hear the voice of my lost love, my attention snaps to see the fingers loom above. I notice her smile, her possessive grin, until I notice her shadowy and beckoning fin. Pain didn't come, nor did sorrow, but the denial of the fact of a lonely tomorrow. I close my eyes, averting my gaze, but my presence still lit my soul to blaze. I long for her warmth and inviting smile, not the thing that stands here a while. The shadows of the chamber turned into a series of shouts. All that remained, know my spirit, no doubt. So I live on with a new pain, bearing my mark of my memories of my long lost Lorraine.
Hello, prepossessing sunshine. The air is warm today, and so is your pretty smile. I'd always choose you. Sunflowers reach up to the sky, the portrait is glowing, and so are your alluring eyes. I'd always choose you. My love, you have all of my heart. You are the view I see, a beautiful piece of art. I'd always choose you. You feel like home to me, you can put me at ease. I want you and I need you, I'd always choose you. We lived and loved and laughed and split, and as if your love was dead. I hate that I love you so much, I'd always choose you. Every move you try to make, every smile fake, always makes my heart ache with pain, I'd always choose you.
Winter. The weather is starting to get cold. The shivering makes me feel old. Trees, your limbs are nearly bare. There's a complete chill in the air. The limbs have a tenuous hold on the remaining leaves, with the trees being taken by thieves. It reminds me of death, because I can hardly take a breath. I commiserate with the trees that have hardly a leaf. I think of the mourning families in grief. It feels like the end of things. The cold so harsh it stings. Reminds me of lives that are at end. I wish I could make my thoughts bend. I abominate this time of year. The cold feels like a nasty leer. I wish I could focus more on spring and the happy thoughts that would bring. In spring the flowers bloom and hope rises beyond the moon. People laugh and smile. Hard work no longer takes a mile. The effect of warmth is more than nominal. With good weather I feel phenomenal. Wow, my feelings are like the seasons. Nice to see my emotions have reasons. I ascribe the connection to a higher power, like a being controlling it all from a tower. This parallel makes perfect sense. Now in the dreariness of winter, I won't be so tense.
Thee have all my heart. Thy beauty lights up my day. Thy eyes sparkle like the moon. There is nothing thee possesses that make me depart. I commiserate the goddess Aphrodite, as thy envy thy beauty. The stars shine brightly in thy honor, as I wish to hold thee tightly. They proliferate to peculate my heart without even knowing. Thy skin is perfect as it can be. Thy beauty is a work of art. Our adventurous meeting was no mistake. God enjoined us together. I wish thee one question, which might lead to a heartache.
Quoted the girl with shackles around her face. Her tears would haphazardly to hide from her face, yet the sound of her sorrow is masked by a murderous smile. Warmth fills the air and darkness fills that ever-expanding void. Trust anything but the same for it, or despair among the seditious deed. Yet you wish to heal her pain. Ha! Weeds whistle with glee at the sight of weakness in their presence. Your envy is all-encompassing, and there is nothing left but pure euphoria in the midst of her presence. Twisting, turning, circuitous, yet never ceasing to hold that smile. That tenuous smile piercing through the crevices of fermentation. How might one escape the circuitous nature of life? Is there meaning to take the adventitious journey through life? These things are more pound through earth and metal, wind and rain. Cease not to hide these things from the light. Is there solace in this world, a peace that ends all suffering, where the darkness never finds the light again? Could such a place truly exist? Starry-eyed, quoted the girl with shackles around her face.
First poem is by an anonymous 7th grade student. It's entitled The Snow Tonight. How cold and breezy is the snow tonight, how thick and fluffy and ghostly white, the snow that falls softly tonight, drifting down slowly, covering the ground, is crowned and abound, it blinds all who see, hiding you from the eyes of me. The dusk gathers low, and the mist falls steadily, it sparkles and glistens in the sun. It is calling me, coming so readily. Oh, how much fun is the snow tonight, the one that falls softly tonight. Our second poem is from an anonymous high school student. It's called Nobody. Once in a cold reality, there was a boy. He was shy, quiet, and got nervous when talking to the cute girl in his class. He was the first to arrive to class and the last to leave. He sat by the teacher's desk and did as he was told, and he gazed at the cute girl in his class, and she mirrored his actions, and they both blushed in unison. They both counted the number of words in a sentence and the number of steps he took and turned a light on and off until it felt just right. And he kept it secret because the intrusive thoughts were too strong. And the boy sat alone at lunch, and he walked to his bus alone, and he spent his weekends by himself because he was the only one who understood. Once in a true reality, there was a boy. He was shy, quiet, and still got nervous when talking to the cute girl in his class. And the boy still counted the number of words in a sentence and the number of steps he took and turned a light on and off until it felt just right. And he told the girl how he felt before the intrusive thoughts were too much. And he told her that he liked her, and to his surprise, they had mutual feelings. And the boy went home that night and cried because he couldn't take the obsessive and intrusive thoughts, and he begged that he could be set free from the chains of his imagination. Once in a true fantasy, there was a boy. He was quiet and shy and began to feel butterflies when talking with the cute girl. And he was still the first to class and the last to leave, and the popular boys didn't talk to him, and the nice girls didn't wave to him, and he no longer sat alone at lunch, and he had someone to walk to his bus with and someone to talk to on the weekends. And the boy no longer counted the number of words in a sentence, and he stopped counting the number of steps he took, and he stopped turning on a light on and off until it felt just right, because he didn't have to, because she was there to set him free from the figmented chains of his imagination. And on Valentine's, the girl gave him a letter, and it cataloged the reasons why she liked him, and the butterflies grew stronger, and the love grew stronger, and he wrote a letter too. He spent hours on it, and he told her that he loved her because the feelings had grown too strong, and she felt the same. Once in a euphoric fantasy, there was a boy. He was no longer first to class, and he wasn't the last to leave, and the popular boys talked to him, and the nice girls waved to him, and he looked back on the intrusive thoughts and the figmented chains only as a distant memory. And the girl waved to him every morning, and she talked with him before a class, and she sat with him at lunch, and walked with him to his bus, and even hugged him goodbye. And for once, he felt like he was somebody. Once in a living nightmare, there was a boy, and the girl he loves no longer waved to him every morning, and no longer talked with him before class, and no longer sat with him at lunch, and she no longer walked with him to his bus, and she no longer hugged him goodbye. And he was the first to class, and the last to leave. He sat by the teacher's desk and did as he was told. He still looked at the cute girl in his class, and she no longer gazed at him, and she no longer blushed, and the popular boys no longer talked to him, and the nice girls no longer waved to him, and his friends no longer spoke with him. And the thoughts came back, but they were different this time. The thoughts weren't figmented chains, instead of figmented reality. And the boy sat alone at lunch, and walked to his bus alone, and spent his weekends by himself, because he was the only one in his figmented reality painted by blue. And he went home that night, and he locked himself in his room, and at 1 a.m. he tucked himself into bed. In a world drenched in nightfall and submerged in melancholy, he cried himself to sleep, because he truly is.